Okay, y'all, we did it. We got to the end of Canada's Drag Race, Season 1, Episode 10. You wear it well. Ooh, that was terrible. You wear it, you wear it, you wear it well. That might have been even worse. We'll see. Anyway, this is a recap review. There's not a lot of information. It's a very typical end of season episode. So our three finalists are Scarlett, Bobo, Priyanka, and Rita Baga. Rita Baga has been in the top, has won 3 times, has lip synced twice. Scarlett won the last challenge, has never lip synced, and Priyanka's won 2 and lip synced twice. So they consider this to be somewhat even. Okay, I'm not going to really argue. Like I've mentioned before, if you've watched any of my other recaps, I feel like this has been a challenging season with the judging. In that, I didn't agree with a lot of the judging, and I didn't agree with a lot what was said during the judging, so I kind of have some weird feelings, because I feel like there's a couple, like, there was one that Scarlett should have won, there's a time Priyanka shouldn't have been in the bottom, or Priyanka should have been in the bottom, or Rita was overpraised for things that blah, blah, blah. So up and down, up and down. So I came into this, it seemed like the judges really favored Rita Baga, so I thought it was very likely that Rita would win, but they've also, if I understand correctly how they've done this, they did the typical, like, no one knows until the episode actually airs who wins, in which case they certainly had time to switch. So, I think it's kind of funny because they keep saying Canada's first superstar, drag superstar, and all I'm thinking is Brooklyn Heights. That'd be like if during Drag Race they said America's first drag superstar. Like RuPaul would have been like, shut this whole thing down. That's not true. So I think it's kind of funny. I get why they do it because it's the first crowning, but it was just funny because it's like every time they said it, I'd be like, or Brooklyn Heights, whatever. The second. Anyway, I think the place where the guest host really falls apart for me as a concept, not as an individual host, I don't have a problem with any of the hosts or any of the guests, but the concept of having them come in on the finale and I'm like, who are you? That you're like, I've spent more time with these queens, than you have. And so I feel like, especially for the finale, having the guests be so involved in like the interviews and that kind of stuff felt weird to me. Not, like, to be clear, not the judge, the concept. So I think that concept needs to change a little bit because it seems weird to have the guest that comes on carry such a heavy weight. They were, in general, excellent judges. Maybe I'm just too used to our typical US All-Stars format where that maybe that's the case. I don't know. I could be wrong in that. But that was my personal opinion. So they are going to do a very typical Drag Race finish, which is they take a RuPaul song, they write their own verses, they perform, they dance. We see it all the time, so it's not a surprise. They already knew coming in what to expect. So this is none of this is a shocker. It's very, like I said, it's a very typical episode. They do a lot of reminiscing. They sit around, they talk about, remember when we did this? Who did you think, what was your favorite challenge? What wasn't? What did you do? What does it mean for you? I'm not going to recap all of that because it's kind of, Priyanka talks a lot about, the fact that Priyanka's dad doesn't know that he does drag or that he's even gay. That he's had this split in his life, that he hasn't felt authentic, and that being there has helped him kind of marry the 2 parts of his life together and everything he risked. Priyanka has been a wonderful interviewer, which is that's always a fan favorite. If you can give a good, funny, honest, authentic interview, they always narrator of the season, that is a win. That is a win underneath your belt. It's certainly exciting to see our first, I believe she described herself as Western Indian winner. I guess she won. So that's all very exciting. They all performed. Priyanka came out in a gorgeous sari. Oh, I think it's one of my favorite looks that I've seen across a lot of shows. I'm not saying it's the best one ever, but I don't know what the best one ever would be for me. But this is one that I will definitely remember as being a standout in a way that we haven't seen, that's super authentic to the person, that only they could pull off, or only at this point that only Priyanka could pull off. And I don't just mean because of her ethnicity, but because of her brand, because of who she is, what she does. It was beautiful. It was a very beautiful look. Rita Baga did a sort of alien look, and it had an interesting talk about it, but I just didn't find it as interesting, and I was a little surprised that was the look she chose for the potential crowning. Not that I was trying to think of what like Sharon Needles did or Alaska did, but I don't think either one of them. I was trying to remember what specifically their finale look was. We all know that Alaska for All Stars, was that 3? Did that blue look for the song, which is still kind of bizarre, but I thought it was an interesting choice to do it because I didn't think of her as being I think of her as being old school drag and maybe campier, but not necessarily like green. So that particular kind of unusual drag wasn't a bad look, just wasn't. It was a surprise that it, for me, choices for this particular look. Scarlett looked great. They talked about what it would mean for them to win, who they're representing, what they want to do with the title. I don't know what to say beyond that. I'm happy enough with the win. I still like Drag Race. I felt that some of the judging was a little unclear. I've talked about why. I think part of it is they all agreed. I think if they had each maybe felt a little bit more, with disagreeing, we might have had a little better judging in terms of like, we would have seen more highs and lows. It could be that, along with that, I think there was also the judging put too much of an emphasis on the runway versus the maxi challenge. But I don't think any of those are like get them kicked off of Twitter kind of things. I think these can all be repaired. I'll be excited for next year's Canada. I'll be interested to see what choices. My feedback would be that I want to see the guest. I don't want to be a guest host. I wanted to be a guest judge like we normally have, and just have the 3 judges go through doing the host job or whatever, because it's a little. I think it's giving them duties that made it harder for me to connect with. That's just my thought. I like the judges the guest hosts that they had. I think they were all great. I wanted to see more of that. Someone said that the maxi challenges were bad. I thought they were very typical Drag Race. So there you go. Yeah, there you go. There's my season. It's over. I'm feeling a little burned out on doing it. Tell me in the comments, are you going to watch Drag Race Holland? Will you watch recaps if I do Drag Race Holland? I'm going to see if it is all subtitled. If it's not subtitled, I'm not doing it. If it's in a foreign language, I'm not doing it. If they do it, I assume if it's on Wow Presents Plus app that it is subtitled. We'll see how well I do. But only if there's interest, so let me know. Yeah, bye.